Let's do this. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of This Ain't Your Ordinary Podcast with your girl, your host, your cousin, your daughter, your auntie, your sister, Rissa G. It has been a while. Hear me out. Life has, in fact, been lifing. Man, it's nice to be back. It is, yeah, it's been a long time in the making. Where do I even start? Let's just check in. How y'all doing? It's been a while. I'm lost for words. I'm not an excitable person really, but like I am really excited to be back. I am excited to talk to you guys. I'm excited to get back on the mic. Literally hear myself talk. Yes. Yeah, I've missed you guys, man. I've missed the platform. I've missed the ability to do this and have these conversations. A few things have changed here and there with what we're doing here, but just to make it better and more refined, yeah, I had to figure out a lot. I didn't want to come back uninformed. I didn't want to come back having not, done the back work to have a proper conversation with you guys. And also I had to make sure my mind was right, make sure I was in the right place to do the pod. And also have to manage it with my time. I was doing therapy, no longer doing that kind of therapy, doing different kind of therapy now. So it's like a lot of different things juggling, letting you guys behind the curtain a bit. But I'm back. And y'all know your girl like to go big or go home. There are tears in my eyes. I like to go big or go home. So you already know coming back, it's been 6 months, 6 true months since I last dropped. And you already know I have to come back with a 4-parter off the wake up, a 4-parter just for y'all, because there's a lot to dive into. There's a lot that has happened in the last 6 months, bigger than sports, bigger than entertainment, bigger than gossip, bigger than all those things. There's a lot that's going on that has to do with the lives of people and people's well-being, right? And it has always been starting in our country. It's obviously happening overseas. So there's a lot of different things to do and talk about. We have to talk about religion. We have to talk about how religion plays a part in everything that has been going on. Excuse me. And we also have to talk about this generation, including myself, those are older than me, younger than me, all of us really collectively, and our ability to read and write and understand and communicate practices that are becoming lost. And that's not shade to anyone. And none of this, I'm going to be saying a lot, because it's been 6 months, right? It's been really a year since January where I haven't really talked about politics. I haven't really talked about the state of this country, right? And not too in depth, right? So it's going to be a lot. Off rip, not coming for nobody specifically, right? And this isn't meant to attack necessarily anyone, but I will be doing a lot of calling out. And I am not a perfect person. I'm not a perfect Christian, that's for sure. And I don't think I'm better than anyone. However, I do feel like if I see something that isn't right, the least I can do is say something. And I think that there's a lot, I can't change the behavior of individuals. I simply can't. None of us can, really. But I can shine a light on things that I feel like could be done better, or I feel like are inappropriate. I could add language to things, because sometimes we don't call a thing a thing. Like, we struggle to do that. So I think really these next few pods is me calling a thing a thing. Because that, y'all know I'm about to do that. And if you are offended or if you feel some type of way, please leave a comment, because this is a conversation, right? Like, this is not just you feel slighted, now you're going to internalize that and go, who knows what you'll do with that. No, this is a conversation. So if you feel any kind of way, let's have a conversation in the comments. Let's talk about it, right? Like, 'cause I think conversation does lead to reconciliation and middle ground, which I'm hoping we can find some of that. But if not, It is what it is, man. The facts are what the facts are. So anyway, that being said, how are y'all doing? How's everybody doing? Are we staying hydrated? Are we reading? Remember I said, like, yo, I'm going to talk about this in a later pod, in a couple of pods, but are we reading? Are we staying hydrated? Because it's a really uneducated, misguided time, and truly, the more you know, the more power you have. Knowledge is, in fact, power. Remember that, right? Knowledge is power. All right. We got a lot to jump into. That was a long open. So this is the first time, like I said, we're talking about politics, specifically Trump becoming president, right? Like, we had a pod, he won, but now he has been president for now almost 10 months. Wait, no, 9 months. Yeah, 9 months. 9 months and change, right? What a time to be alive. We're living in history. We've been living in the last 10 years in things that will be in 50 years. I'm hoping we'll have history books. Who knows? If we do, some of it will be included, but probably not accurately, or even most of it. And I don't even know, when I was writing my notes and stuff for this pod, I literally was struck. That's why there's so many parts, because I didn't even know where to start. Like, where do I begin? Like, what do I touch on first? Like, what atrocity do I cite first, right? Like, what do I yell about first? Obviously, ICE raids, deportation, that has been, and he's felt this way for how many years, but that has been a big point of emphasis. And I'm probably gonna do a pod on this, not in this series right now, but in the future. Like, what's our beef with immigrants for real? Like, let's talk about it. Like, what's our beef? Like, what's the problem? Like, I've heard the arguments, but it doesn't make sense to me, the rate at which we seek to terrorize, well, let me be careful. Not we. America seeks to terrorize communities just for the hell of it. Really, just for the hell of it. This country was founded and created by people who were not from here. I don't know what you call someone who's not from here. Maybe you could provide me the language. But it was founded by people who were not from here, right? They stole the land, right? They murdered, inflicted genocide upon genocide upon genocide for years to steal said land. Then they stole bodies and forced them to work on stolen land. And that is the foundation of your country. And you really feel like you have a leg to stand on? You really feel like, mind you, so many people come to this country because of conflict inflicted by America. So you come and you stir up a whole bunch of bull jive in my country. Now I'm coming to your country for refuge, and we're over capacity. Sorry. You're a criminal. Just off rip from you not being here, you're a criminal. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, what are we really talking about? And this is not just the white community that has the white nationalist, patriotic people. It's not just them. It's immigrants. Hello? Whoa. This is going to be a long pod. It's immigrants too. It's people of color. Whatever, like, there's people, blacks, Latinos. I saw y'all. Okay. And I just don't get it. But I can't stay there. Or the deportation camps, right? Like, that are being compared to concentration camps, right? And the idea, even with being deported and being arrested, I don't even know if I'm using the correct language, because what's fully going on? It's not even legal, but I'm going to talk about legal stuff a little bit later in this pod. Because for any of us, any person in this country can be stopped by apparently any entity, whether marked or unmarked, and be thrown into a van, be kidnapped. I'm using correct language. You could be kidnapped. Any one of us could be kidnapped, and later on maybe figure out that we are being deported. Any one of us. No one is safe. No one is safe. So we could talk about that. Or the National Guard being deployed in DC, and the president essentially taking over DC Metropolitan Police, hijacking the force and utilizing it to whatever capacity he sees fit. What is that about? Like, what is that about? Like that, like, I don't know if we fully understand some of these things, like what these things mean. Like, these are unusual things. These are things that happen in, like, you know, times of true crisis within the country, where the president essentially hijacks a police force and utilizes it for whatever essentially he sees fit. And the police force really has no say in it. And I'm damn sure not defending a police force right now, but I'm just saying in general, right? Like, they don't have a say in it. Like, it's controlled by, I think, the Attorney General controls the Metropolitan Police in that area. Like, what? And this leads me to my Hear Me Out segment, right? Because there's too many things to address right now in this opening pod. There's too many things. But I do think, I'm not going to talk on things specifically necessarily, right? But I do think in a general overview, I think everything we're seeing right now is honestly a part of an experiment. I kid you not. And I know it sounds however it sounds. And I know if you don't view the world, and if you don't view this country and this government with a certain perspective, you're not going to be able to hear what I'm saying. And that's okay. That is your prerogative. But I really, if you can, please let a seed be planted. Just open your eyes for a moment and just think about what you're experiencing right now in this country. It is abnormal. It is not normal. It is not okay. But they're trying to normalize something right now. They are experimenting with things that used to be illegal. I'm going to talk about law soon. It used to be illegal, but they're experimenting to see what they can get away with. What will we as an American people tolerate? How far can they go with everything they're doing? I'm telling you, that's what's happening right now. Because the whole country is not yet under what's happening in certain areas. But I'm pretty sure Trump or a representative of the White House said that other major cities are next in line for what's going on in DC. Think about that. So why are you randomly going and talking about you targeting crime? Mind you, crime has been down for years, except for cars being stolen in the area. It didn't warrant this, but for some reason you're trying to see what you can get away with. In Chicago, you're seeing people be kidnapped by unmarked vehicles, unmarked people, because you cannot be an officer if you have no identification, no identifying measure. They don't have nothing written on them. It's as though a random person is pulling up in a vest with a gun saying, "Get in the van." That used to not be legal. But now this takes me to the people who are, I love this. I love the USA. Everything is okay. The government, listen to what I'm saying right now. Listen to what I'm saying. Law in this country, really in any country, but focusing specifically on this country, is an honor-based system, right? Hear me out. The idea is that we as citizens have come into a contract with the government, okay? We will follow these rules and regulations typically because they provide us typically with some sort of protection, right? Remember, the government, all that's supposed to be a representation of the people and for the people. That's what it's supposed to be. So, a simple example, a stop sign. Most of us, when we come to a stop sign, we stop, right? Then we go. Police don't have to be there. No one has to be there watching. It's an honor-based thing. I am hoping, like, this is what the government is thinking. I'm hoping that you as a citizen will have enough integrity to, when no one is looking, when there's no cameras, not run a red light, not run a stop sign, right? And the idea, again, is if you do run it, there's multiple consequences. You can crash. You can harm someone. You can harm yourself. You can harm your family. And you can get a ticket. Right? So there are consequences to the decisions you make in this system, this contractual system. Now, on the other hand, we are hoping that the civil rights we have, the amendments that were made that we have, right? First Amendment, right? Second, right? That's an honor-based thing. We're assuming the country has to honor that. The country said we have freedom of speech. Except for a few particular things, we have essentially freedom of speech. That only stands if the country says so. Are you following me? The country, America, could tomorrow say, no more freedom of speech. You can't just speak and say whatever you want to say. If you do, you will be arrested. Just like that will, in American law, be viewed as illegal, but they can still do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, maybe I'm not being clear. The law is only the law if they say so. If they don't value the law no more, the laws, your rights, all of it mean nothing. Are you following me? Are you following me? Because all I'm hearing is we have rights. You have rights until they say you don't. All of this is based on their law. And if they don't honor their side of things, it means nothing. Who is holding them accountable? It's them. It's all one thing. It's them. There are no real checks and balances, man. There are no checks. This is bigger than Trump, but we're going to focus on Trump right now because it's a government issue. It's a system that allows for this. The system has never been broken. And I'm waiting for people to open their eyes, man. The system has never been broken. The system has always been acting how it was supposed to act, how it was created to act in an oppressive measure. But now more people besides minorities are being oppressed and feeling the heat. And now all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden you're getting all this uproar, right? But we've been saying what's happening to black people, what's happening to minorities, it is happening to other people as well. Y'all just not seeing nothing right now. Y'all not seeing it. You're not seeing it that way. So again, I'm hoping we're understanding what I'm saying because we're building on something right now. The law only matters if the government honors it. You do not have a First Amendment right if the government tomorrow changes his mind. Right? Okay. So this is illegal. Language like that, we kind of have to just, what's the word? Kind of refocus our lenses a bit. Because what you're calling illegal only matters if that entity will be held accountable. But if said entity to hold the other entity accountable is the same entity, you see the conspiracy here? You see, but I'm wearing my tinfoil hat, right? But you see the conspiracy here? Okay. So I think that's something to think about as we go through the next few pods, and as we live in modern day America, that's something to think about. I don't think we have a lot of rights. I don't think we have many, if any. And I think what you see Trump doing is him slowly but surely diminishing our normalcy. And when I say that, I mean like he is infringing on our rights regularly to the point that we're so desensitized by what he's doing. We don't, when the ball really drops, when the shoe falls off the foot, when it happens, we're not going to realize like, oh snap. Oh my God, like this is happening. That's what they're trying. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm being clear enough. I think the whole goal of this experiment is to make us docile enough so that whenever something major and across the board happens in terms of rights, in terms of, I don't know what's going to happen, but something happens that we're okay with it. That we don't fight back. We don't put up a fight. And we just let things happen, okay? So I think that's my one part of it. So now let me go to the next segment. Let me get this off my chest. It's a lot. Now, so I talked about laws, and I talked about how laws are an honor-based system, and laws only matter if the government says so. The government is in charge, and we only have rights that the government has given us. If the government tomorrow chooses to get rid of them, you would assume and think and have the language of, well, we have rights to protect us, but those rights only protect you if the government says so, okay? That was the first part, okay? Now I'm going to pivot. Now, again, we're doing an overview of the year so far and Trump's presidency. I'm getting hot. All right. And my next pod is going to talk more about this, but I have to wrap up this pod with this. And okay, let me just get it out, because this is the real topic of the conversation. I will always understand why people voted for Kamala. As you remember, I did not vote, and I will talk about that in my next pod, not in this pod. But I understand why people voted for Kamala, right? But I want to be careful here. I understand, but I cannot condone those who voted for Trump again. Yeah. What were you thinking? What was the expectation? Because I know from what I've gathered from literally speaking to numerous people, please don't think this is about you, because I've spoken to numerous, I don't want to say many, but a good, at least a handful of Trump supporters. And their perspective is almost similar. And I want to be clear here, none of them are white. The Trump supporters that I have spoken to and that I know are not white. Some are immigrants, some are second generation immigrants, some are just mixed, like mixed with minorities, mind you, right? And from what I've gathered, the thought process is he's business savvy. You know, he's a good businessman. He knows how to run businesses. So he knows how to run the financial part of the country. You know, immigrants shouldn't be here. I mean, that's right. This is what I've gathered from their perspective. So I support what's happening to immigrants. And yeah, all that other stuff is just, I mean, racism is not even real. So I feel like black people, this is their perspective, not me. Their perspective, like, I mean, black people are just making a big deal of racism because like it really doesn't exist, right? Like, so, like, yeah, and all that stuff is like, they don't even have evidence. They can't really prove, right? Like, that to me has been what I've gathered from the Trump supporters. And again, I'm not targeting one person, but if you fit them all, hey. And I want, before I go on, I do think I want to be really careful, because when I have conversations just in general, unless it's like a really, really private, intimate conversation, I try to be political, because I don't want to stop people from having conversations with me, but I also do want to be clear on where I stand. I think voting for Trump again, not the first time, the second time, is a foolish error made on the parts of people who think they're closer to being white than they actually are. And I'm going to just say it how I see it, man. And I'm going to talk about that more in other pods too. Like, you think that this rich old, is he rich? I don't even know. But this rich old white man who is a rapist, who is a racist, who is homophobic, who is sexist, who is all of these negative things, you think that because he had the Apprentice show or whatever, that you are somehow going to benefit from voting for him. You think that the tax stuff is going to benefit you, poor man, because these people are not rich that I'm talking about. They're not. They're like me and you. So you think that voting for him again was going to do what? To benefit you and make your life better? How? And it's like you have reaped zero total benefits, and the whole country and world is reaping the benefits, negative consequences of him being our president. Mind you, I think it's bigger than Trump. I'm going to talk about that in a little second. But still, like, he's a terrible person, just in general, not even politics, just humanity. He's a terrible human. And you voted in office, a terrible human, so that you can have a tax break? You think, like, like I've some, and I don't use certain language, you know, sparingly, and I want to be careful and mindful here, but like some black people specifically really, and I don't like to use this word, are coons, thinking that that will free them from the very thing they think doesn't exist, and they've become tokenized, you know, images of American dreams. See, I made it too. See, I made it too. Dude, you are a pawn in a much bigger game. You are but a pawn. You are being used. You are being used so terribly, and you don't even see it because you are chasing after that whiteness that will always evade you because you are black as night. You're black, and racism does still exist. And they're using you, coon, to go and convince other blacks and other minorities that, hey, they're really not that bad. The country's really not that bad. Anyone can make it. You can make it. You can make it. No. And you're trying to escape the very thing you say don't exist. And instead of, like, really, you're not important to the cause at all. But, and I said this to someone before, and I'm going to say it again, but what these people show me is who I could talk to and who I could trust when the time comes. Because you can't talk to everybody about the plans for what's next. And if you know, you know. So I can't talk to you and I can't trust you because you still chasing after something that doesn't exist. And I in a later part, I'm going to talk about this more. Because I'm listening / reading The Miseducation of the Negro. Great book, great read, published in 1933. And it's such a reflection and a representation of what's happening today. And they have conquered your mind, so they don't need to be explicitly racist anymore. They've conquered your mind, good brother. Come on. What are you doing? They've conquered your mind, and now you're perpetuating harm on their behalf that they don't have to participate in. They could just let it happen. You are their minion. Come on, man. So anyway, can't stay there for too long. I'm going to talk about it more later. But all to say, I do think that a lot of this is meant to be a divisive measure. I do think it's meant to have us against each other. I do think it's meant to separate us so that we're all missing the cause. I do think the coons and the minority Trump supporters are almost like instigators so that we're all in-house fighting. So we're all missing the cause. We're all missing what's going on. We're all missing the bigger picture. I think that's what's happening. And this is like one of my last things. And I have a pod dedicated to this, but I must say this. I'm getting riled up, y'all. Only people who, and this is to the Christian Trump supporters, I got something for y'all coming. Only people who haven't read scripture believe only God can judge them. I'm gonna let that sit for me. Only God can judge me. Only God can judge. Nah, bro. Only God can condemn you. Only God can judge whether you're going to heaven or hell. Only God can do that. But God is not the only one who can judge you, right? Okay. Can I read some, just un poquito, some scripture? This is Matthew 15. Oh, shoot, I forgot the book. But this is verse 15. I'm going to find the book in a second. Because I do want us all to be on the same page. Hold on. I think it might be 3. All right, Matthew chapter 7. All right, there we go. Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7, verse 15. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. Next part, please. 16. By their fruit you will recognize them. I'm going to skip to verse 17. Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. Verse 18. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. All right, I'm not going to teach too much, but just really, really quick. what the scripture is telling us is to be careful for people who come saying, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, but really they're wolves in sheep's clothing. Really, they're the enemy coming, formed and wrapped in something that we think kind of looks good. And the only way to know that they are not from God and they are not of God is to judge them by their fruit. Because your fruit that you bear will tell me if you're a good tree or a bad tree, because then you'll have good fruit or bad fruit. The Bible tells us clearly that. Excuse me. So I want y'all to be clear. I'm judging everybody. And I'm judging specifically in this political realm for the Christians especially who represent Jesus allegedly, but make choices that are not moral and that are not in withstanding with the Bible and that are not a great representation or reflection of the Bible or of Jesus or of the God of the Bible. And I'm judging those people because that's the standard they've agreed to live by. I'm not judging anyone who don't believe Jesus is God. I cannot judge you on this particular basis. I'm still judging people because I think this is a principle that stands. But specifically Christians, I'm judging you, man. I'm judging the fruit that you're bearing. Because I need to know who you are for and who you are not for. And if you vote for Trump, if you believe in Trump, if you are so pro-Trump that you cannot, like, you are so in the world and so enmeshed into politics that you cannot see the divide that's happening because of said man. We serve a God who's not a God of chaos. That's another scripture. Google it. So we serve a God who's not of chaos, but yet you are damn near idolizing and serving a man who embodies chaos and who is intentionally trying to force dissension and incite people and incite violence, which he's done before. That's who you're supporting. Now, you know I didn't vote because I did not believe in Kamala. But that's me, and that's someone who is researching, that's someone who was invested in what was going on overseas, not just domestically. I'm going to talk about that in the next pod. But you see what this man is doing regularly, and you still vote for him? Really? And that's Christians and non-Christians. So, anyway, that is it. That is all I have. That is my wrap up. That is my first pod, because I really think the first thing to have in your arsenal when you're in a fight is the knowledge that you're in a fight. Off rip. If you don't know you're in a fight, you've already lost. You have already lost. And so many of us don't think we're in a fight. So many of us don't think that racism exists. So many of us don't think we're being oppressed. Oh, I'm not being oppressed. Like, so many of us have that mentality. And I think it's cute, but it's a cop-out. And what it allows is the beliefs that you have escaped something or that something doesn't exist. And that's gaslighting. When I see racism every single day, I see the fruit of racism every single day. I see all of it. And you're going to look me in my face and say, nope, that doesn't exist. What you're seeing does not exist. That is the definition of gaslighting. And we are being gaslit, ladies and gents. We are being gaslit. Okay? And I think knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And what they don't want us to have, and I have a pod that I'm going to drop that's just about this. What they don't want us to have is knowledge and information and wisdom and discernment. They don't want us to have those things so that they can go and run rampant within the country and get away with anything. It's up to us to be knowledgeable. It's up to us to take it into our own hands and educate ourselves, educate our children, educate the generations. Let them know about their history. They want us to forget our history. Our history was not that long ago. And they want us to forget it. They do. They want to whitewash it. They want to erase it. And they want to make us all docile. And we cannot allow for that to happen. We cannot afford for that to happen. So anyway, this is part 1. Part 2 is coming very, very soon. Yeah. I have a lot to say. Anyway, it's been a fun ride. I love y'all. I miss y'all. Clearly I'm hot and I'm on fire right now. I got some more pods to go and make. These will be dropping weekly. At least these next 4 are going to drop weekly for sure. So in the next month, you are about to get mad content because I have a lot to say. So anyway, until the next episode. Peace. What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all of that. Help your girl out. Share it to your auntie. You know what I'm saying? I ain't here doozies. Peace.